Hello everyone! In this video, I will show you how to create triggers in the updated Bookzy mobile. Clicking on the Triggers button at the bottom left of the screen, we enter the Triggers page. Since there are no triggers yet, this area appears empty. To add the first trigger, we click on the plus button. We write the trigger name. By clicking on the exclamation marks you see in any part of the application, you can access detailed explanations related to the relevant section. In Bookzy, there's a feature called No TP. If there is no target price available for the scanned item, the application gives you an accept warning without calculating the profit. For example, let's say you set up a trigger that checks the lowest used offer in FBA. If the scanned book has no FBA listing at all, this book will result in accept, and the trigger name with No TP will be displayed at the top of the screen. The purpose here is to show you any potentially profitable products and not cause you to miss any potential profit. For those marked as No TP, you need to reassess and make a decision accordingly. I selected Lowest FBA New. The terms lowest, second, and third refer to the lowest, second lowest, and third lowest prices, respectively. If you choose any in the channel section, it won't differentiate between FBA and FBM. If you choose any in the conditions section, it will make the target price selection without distinguishing between used and new. The advanced settings section is a newly introduced feature. On the left side, there are currently no indicators, but after making changes, the word edited will appear. Clicking on the button, we move on to the details. With the Amazon price modifier feature, it is now possible to set a certain percentage reduction when the target price is Amazon, and calculations can be made accordingly. Let's illustrate this with an example. We set up a trigger based on the lowest FBA new price, and the scanned book has the lowest FBA new price on Amazon itself. Assuming we set our adjustment to 5%, and the Amazon price is $20, the adjusted price would be $19, 5% lower. With this feature, profit calculations will be made based on this adjusted price. With the Replace Target Price feature, when there is Amazon or Buy Box in the listing, you can choose one of these prices instead of the target price. If you click on Target Profit, you can enter your desired minimum profit value here. It automatically uses the FBA or FBM fee based on your chosen FBA or FBM option. Additionally, in our profit calculation, we have two different costs, buy cost and inbound shipping cost. I will explain them shortly. Minimum sold days and maximum sold days are optional. You can create a trigger without entering any values. It represents the number of days with sales in the last 6 months. We display values above 100 as 100 plus. You can enter any number up to 100 here. In the ASR limits section, you can enter minimum and maximum ASR limits. ASR, which stands for average sales rank, represents the average sales rank information for the last 6 months. It is expressed in thousands. For example, to enter a maximum ASR of 1.2 million, you can either write 1.2 and select M, or write 1200 and select K. You can make sound and color selections from here. Clicking on the sounds allows you to hear them. Click on the Save button to save your settings. We've created our first trigger. Now let's create another trigger for used items. In the Advanced Settings section, the only option available for used triggers is related to the Buy Box, but we won't select or use this feature for this example. All right, our second trigger is ready. Each trigger has on-off buttons in the top right corner, and you can toggle them to enable or disable triggers. Additionally, you can enter a trigger, scroll to the bottom, and delete triggers with a delete button. The order is important if you have multiple triggers. You need to set the order correctly within the logic framework of these triggers. Trigger sorting cannot be changed on mobile, but it can be done on the web. Now, let's continue with the settings section. In the profit calculation part, you need to set the buy cost and inbound shipping cost, which are used in profit calculations. Buy cost represents the cost of purchasing the product. You can enter an average value. If the buy costs of books vary significantly, you can set it to 0 and manually calculate it yourself. Here's an example. Suppose you create a trigger by entering 0 as the buy cost. If a product is rejected with these triggers, it is immediately understood that it is an unprofitable item. If it is accepted, you can still assess whether it is profitable by subtracting the book's buy cost from the visible profit and decide whether to buy it or not. The inbound shipping cost refers to the cost incurred for sending a £1 book to Amazon. While this value generally fluctuates between 20–30 cents on average, you can set this value as you prefer. At the bottom, there's a button called Sync Configurations. In the old version, you could transfer your web settings to mobile. Now, both transferring from web to here and from mobile to the web are possible. Unlike the old version, now you can also transfer buy cost and inbound shipping cost. To change the order of triggers on your mobile device, transfer them to the web using Push to Web option, and then drag and drop to change the trigger order. Finally, use Pull from Web, and your triggers will be transferred to your mobile device with the new order. Details about creating triggers were as described. If you have any questions, please contact the Bookz Pro Support team for detailed information. Thank you for listening. I hope it has been a helpful video and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Happy scanning!